us all about One Piece.
Okay, One Piece has been taking Japan and the world by storm, and we wanted to let you in to the sunshine that is One Piece because it's a wonderful, wonderful anime and manga. So where do you want to start?
Let's start with, what is One Piece, Ray, and where is it from?
Okay. One Piece is a Japanese shonen manga written and illustrated by Ichiro Oda. Now, a lot of artists like to do this with their work to maintain creative and quality control, but do they do it for over 60 volumes? That actually equates to 600 chapters.
That's crazy.
Now, Oda draws everything that moves, so that also includes the crowds and the animals, smoke, clouds, and the oceans, and it's all to create a consistent look, leaving his staff to draw the backgrounds, which are also based on sketches that he drew originally. So that's a lot of work.
That is a crazy amount
I
of
don't
work.
think the guy sleeps,
No.
personally.
Ever.
Okay, now One Piece was serialized in Weekly Shonen Jump in 1997, which, alongside other animes such as, you probably know, Bleach and Naruto.
Ray, what's shonen what?
Oh, okay, sorry. Weekly Shonen Jump is a weekly manga anthology magazine which is published in Japan.
Right.
It's one of the longest running manga magazines in Japan. It was started in July 2nd, 1968, and it has a circulation of around 2.8 million copies.
Wow.
Yeah, while we're talking about figures, I just wanted to let people know just how big One Piece is. Okay, so it's the most popular anime series of all time. And of course, then it's the biggest selling anime of manga of all time, and it sold 260 million volumes. Volume 60 sold 2 million copies in its first week.
It's amazingly
It's incredible.
large. It's bizarrely large.
It is.
The animation company is also responsible for titles such as Galaxy Express 999,
Yes.
Dragon Ball series, and of course Sailor Moon.
Sailor Moon's a great
Sailor
little
Moon.
series.
Yeah.
Yes, and I think the reason for the anime success is because, well, I think it's twofold. Because one, it follows closely to the story of the manga, and I think all of us would agree that if you're going to make an adaptation, the closer you stay to the written word or the original conception, the more successful your adaptation is more likely to be. Now, two, Oda actually insists that he has and is still writing according to the original idea that he had in his head. Now, I think this is important because unlike other long-running animes such as Bleach or Naruto, now whilst they're great in their own right, they get to a certain point, their main story gets to a certain point, and then it starts to branch off into new arcs, which sort of move away from the roots of the main story. I think it sort of weakens them slightly. That's just for me. I'm sure it's great for fans, but I don't think it's as strong as One Piece.
Yeah, and I mean the thing with One Piece is that it does have those kind of filler episodes, which
It does.
pretty much all the fans agree that they're pretty terrible.
They
But
are.
they're necessary as the manga's being
Inevitable.
created and released.
Absolutely.
But now, wait, Ray, we actually haven't said what One Piece is about.
Okay, how to sum up 600 episodes. The series begins with the execution of Gold Roger, a man known as the King of the Pirates. Now, just before his death, Roger announces that his treasure, the One Piece, will be up for the taking, causing the Great Pirate Era to begin. Now, 22 years later, and Monkey D. Luffy, a young pirate inspired by red-haired Shanks, has since set off on a journey to become the new Pirate King. So he organizes and leads a 9-member crew named the Straw Hat Pirates. Now, the crew crosses paths with diverse villains who challenge the various powers. The world, it's a fantasy-like arena with its own folklore. For example, the existence of the devil fruits, which, once eaten, the consumer then gains the ability or a superpower of sorts. Now, another interesting aspect, or something I find particularly interesting and refreshing, is that in this anime, not everyone has their own agenda. It's not always an all-for-one scenario, and the villains too may seem to want one thing, maybe heading in one direction and for one objective, but will quickly seize a different opportunity, leading to another objective, which turns the whole series around.
And Oda doesn't contradict himself in this, which is an amazing feat considering how big One Piece actually is.
Yes.
Quite often he'll kind of slip something in one episode and it's a bit forgettable, it's a bit innocuous, and then 100 episodes down the track we go back to it. It's crazy.
And the story itself, I don't think it's necessarily for young kids either. It's for mid-teens upwards. It's not necessarily for everyone. It's easy to be misled because the first series that was released, the dubbed version in Australia at least, was by 4Kids Entertainment. And it was, well, basically it was a woeful interpretation of the manga. It was cut and chopped up all over the place, and it's easy to be, carried away by the playfulness of the animation. So I walked away and I didn't want to come back to it, but then a friend said, come back to it, because Funimation actually then got hold of it and the rights, and then also went back and purchased the rights from 4Kids Entertainment and made something that was truly honorable of the manga. Now, I don't know if that was necessarily a good thing, because now I'm kind of addicted.
Yeah, I kind of know what you mean.
Yeah.
It is such a fun adventure series, though.
Yes.
I mean, it's got great characters, it's got really bold, stylized choices, and the animation is just smooth as. It's such a fun adventure.
It's very fun. And the soundtrack?
Amazing soundtrack. It's so
The
important.
soundtrack is
so good.
It's awesome. Yes, a friend of mine, he started on the anime and went to the manga, and he said that how much he misses the soundtrack aspect to it. It's kooky, but it also can be spooky, and it feels very energizing most of the time. It never stops moving, which is a wonderful thing. Now the story itself can seem quite simple or simplistic, but it's much more than that. Oda has spent a lot of time adding a lot of complexity, a lot of layers in there. He deals with some very complex issues like imperialism and nationalism, and there's theology, philosophy. He also goes into humanity issues like poverty and slavery. And I think that's really, it's refreshing. I want to tell you that because it's more than what it first seems. Some people might pass it off as some kind of kids cartoon, but there's much more to it than what you first perceive.
Yeah, I am officially a One Piece fan, I have to say. It's great for people who like anime or manga. Like, you can watch it, you can read it, you can do both.
Do both.
Compare. It's awesome.
Yep.
So it's definitely a buy from me, but I will put a little warning on it though, because if you start on One Piece, this is a huge undertaking. This is an epic journey, even just to find some back issues and back episodes and stuff. So be warned, you will become addicted and it will just take you on this huge journey.
It is massive, but I think luckily Oda has probably got a couple more years left to the story. I think he originally aimed for 5 and now it's gone almost double that. But he claims that he's still on his original story structure, that he won't go past the ending, and he'll cut it off completely, which I kind of respect.
Yeah.
And hopefully that is the case. Time will tell, because I wouldn't want it to just dwindle off just for the sake of making a bit of extra coin, right?
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind collecting a Luffy statue, maybe something premium format, personally.
Ray, you gotta rate it.
Oh.
Rating.
Buy.
Most definitely a buy.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
You don't want to know what One Piece is?
What is One Piece?
I can't tell you. Only Oda knows.
Damn it!
Gomu Gomu no!